Hello and welcome to Follow That Female. Thank you for tuning in. So today I'm here with Natalie Barbieri. Thanks for joining us today, Natalie.
Thank you.
So Natalie is a material handling specialist, has been in the industry of material handling for 15 years, 10 of which have been in sales, and is currently the major account representative for the Toyota dealership for forklifts in BC in Canada, and has won for the past 5 consecutive years the top selling representative for North America in equipment sales, has won that award through Toyota Material Handling, which is quite impressive when you consider all of the reps that are out there for Toyota Material Handling in North America. So Natalie, thanks for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So can you tell us a little bit what inspired you to get into the material handling industry and what inspired you to get into sales?
Sure. Well, I have to be honest about this one. When I first started in material handling, I had no idea that I was going to work for a forklift company or material handling company. I started out 15 years ago and I was looking for a receptionist job. I had 2 very small children that were going to school part-time. So I thought, I need to find something to do during the day. So I went to a temp agency and I applied for a receptionist job. And it happened to be with Hewitt, where we met 15 years ago. And I thought, Hewitt, oh, is that I thought Hewlett Packard, maybe it's a computer company. And I walked in and they had all these forklifts around and I'm like, oh, okay, well, sure. And so I started there for about 6 months. I was on a contract. And then they extended that contract for another year. And then from there, that's when I moved really into the business. So I moved into sales coordination, where you learn about ordering the forklifts and billing them and, prepping them for delivery to the customer and all of those things. And from there, I moved into parts and service. And then from there, I moved into a sales role. And to be honest, I never thought I would be in sales ever. I kind of had to be coerced into the position. I knew that I loved working with people. I knew that, I was confident. I have a dance background, so I was very confident on stage and performing and things, but I had this notion in my head about sales, kind of like that used sales, car salesperson, like, do I really want to do this? Like coerce people into buying things that they don't want, right?
Right.
And then I had to completely reframe my brain around it. Sales is actually helping people get a product or service that they actually require. So I did a lot of training and I had a lot of help from some great managers. And, I really had to overcome that thought of, selling to people. You're not selling to people, you're consulting with people.
Right.
They need a product, they need a service. As long as you're competent and you know your product and you believe in your product and you genuinely want to help people, that's kind of what inspires me with sales. So, it doesn't matter, what you're selling or what you're providing, as long as you genuinely believe that you're providing the best product and the best service, I think people feel that. And so, it's all about relationships. It's all about helping people. And that's kind of, what I like about it. So,
So that's what motivates you. Is it the human connection and finding the solutions that really motivates you? Are there other aspects of the job that motivate you as well?
Yes, I've always been a very competitive person, even from my dance background. I hate to lose. So, if I know that I'm competing for the sale, you have to be assertive to go after it. And there's many different parts of the sales cycle that you have to go through. And one of them is cultivating the relationship with the customer. That is definitely my biggest motivation. The relationships that I've built with my customers over the years has made me successful. I still keep in contact with customers that I had when I lived in Ontario, moving here to BC 8 years. I've had customers in Ontario put me in touch with people here in Vancouver. So because they know that I will genuinely take care of them and do a good job for them. So I definitely think that the human connection is the most important thing. And then it's, like I said, knowing your stuff, being persistent, being, having that competitive spirit within you and making sure that, you give your customer the best experience that they're looking for.
Right.
People how you want to be treated, basically.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about that, about the human connection and about how COVID affected that for you, because if that was a big motivator for you in sales, how did you deal with the COVID and the pandemic and the effect that that had on your relationships with your customers? Because I presume you couldn't go out and visit your customers, right? So did you
Right.
do anything to compensate for that?
Yes, I did. So I was at home one day and I thought, like you said, how am I going to connect with my customers? I'm usually, a day in my life is I wake up, I exercise, I get my mind right and get my energy going for the day to go out and spend the day with my customers. And obviously we couldn't do that.
Right.
So I thought I'll start kind of doing videos and I'll send them to my customers with just valuable information, just on forklifts or on service or things that I thought would be relative to them and help them with their business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started a YouTube channel called the Forklift Girl.
Mm-hmm.
And every week I would do a video. The first one was kind of like, how do we survive the pandemic? Like it really didn't have a lot to do with forklifts, but it's like, who am I going to talk to? I'm just going to talk to the camera. And I know a lot of people were feeling the same way I was during that time. So a lot of people got back to me and related to the fact that they were feeling isolated. And, there's a lot of uncertainty out there. We're very fortunate in the material handling business that we touch many different industries.
Mm-hmm.
So our industry actually, some customers were doing better than others. Mm-hmm. But the human connection was definitely missing. So starting the YouTube channel really helped to bridge that. I was able to reach out to new customers that I never knew before.
Mm-hmm.
So I would put my videos on LinkedIn and different platforms. And I would have new people reach out to me. And then we would, get to know each other kind of virtually. And then when the restrictions, hopefully they subside shortly, then mm-hmm. we can actually meet each other, in person. But they actually feel like there's a little bit more of a connection just through watching the videos and, seeing your personality and things like that. So
yeah, it's definitely
that's kind of how I overcame that. I think marketing is, you have to be able to run with the punches in life. Nothing is guaranteed, right?
Right.
So you have to be able to switch industries, which I'm sure a lot of people have had to do during the pandemic. I'm lucky that I didn't have to do that, but I definitely had to become more creative and learn how to market myself better. If I stuck with the same old thing of just emailing my customers every day and sending them quotes and kind of relied on the business that I had, I knew I wouldn't be able to, win that award again next year. It's just not going to happen. You need to reach out in different ways. Yeah. So I just really kind of brainstormed as to how I was going to do that. And so that's really helped me.
Yeah, and that's really taken off. I'll put a link actually in the description below. To your YouTube channel, the Forklift Girl, which has really taken off, right? You've got, I think, over 1,000 subscribers now on your channel, which is great.
I do, yeah. And I really, it is very forklift related, of course, because it is for my customers, but I'm looking to kind of do what you're doing as well, is to, make it more about awareness. Obviously, forklifts is a very male-dominated industry. There are very few of us females in this industry. I'm the only female salesperson for equipment in my company. And then, I go down to the factory and, there's maybe five other women out of hundreds. So you have to, you differentiate yourself and show yourself as an expert in your field, show that you are confident, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. But what I want to kind of bring my YouTube channel is to show women that you can do anything that you set your mind to. You don't have to just bridge yourself into a certain industry because, women do that and men do that. No, women and men can do anything. I can get dressed up and go in my suit and have lunch with my customers, but then I put my safety vest on and my safety shoes and my safety, goggles, and I go in the shop and I'm with, a bunch of technicians, right? You have to be versatile as well. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a part of longevity for sure.
Mm-hmm. So would you say that's one of the main obstacles that you've had to overcome? Obviously, there are things that motivated you. Were there other challenges, or was that really the main challenge, was overcoming that kind of standing out in the industry, gender related kind of challenges? Yeah. Are there any other challenges that you've had to overcome?
Yeah, definitely. I would say 10 years ago when I first started, I was very self-conscious of that. I thought, men are not going to take me seriously. What is this female coming in here? What does she know about forklifts? That was actually the opposite experience. When you walk in there and you genuinely want to help, your stuff, you're trained, they respect you, they get to see that the way you carry yourself is the way they treat you. So, I've never had an issue in that sense, but I did in the beginning definitely feel that, oh, maybe this is going to be an issue. So I would say to all the women out there that, want to get into something, a male dominated industry, don't steer clear of that. Don't worry about that. And really that was the only obstacle that I had as far as being in this industry. I love the flexibility of it. As far as sales goes, I say to everybody, especially because I did raise a family as I was going through my career. Have them young, they're older now, which is great. But the flexibility of sales is fantastic. It's not a 9-to-5 job. Sometimes my phone is on all the time and I feel like I'm not working, that I'm always working, but it totally pays off if you have to go pick up your, son at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or take them somewhere. It really fits into that career woman lifestyle.
Right. So you just mentioned you have 2 children, right? You have children, they're grown now, but you've raised them as a mother whilst you've been working. You also teach ballet on the side. You're extremely disciplined with your time. What would you say, because obviously that's one of your traits is, a great deal of self-discipline, organization. What are the key traits that you think somebody who's looking at this field as a career, i.e. sales, would need to be aware of? And what kind of traits, personality traits are necessary to be successful in sales, do you think?
I think confidence is huge for sure. And that's not something that comes easy. And I totally understand that. I've done a lot of self-improvement courses. I read books all the time. I try to take courses. I try to stay relevant. I don't think you should stay stagnant at whatever field you're in. You need to keep pushing yourself outside of your boundaries. Competitiveness, persistence, confidence. It comes through to people when you're confident in what you're providing. Right. And I know that that's not an easy thing to do, especially, when I first started out and I was doing presentations on my own, I was completely terrified. I'm like, these people are going to think I'm crazy. Like, what am I doing? But it's putting all of that out of your brain and just saying, you know what, I'm the best person for this. And I'm going, and really feeling that, inside to say, I'm the best person for this job. And if you choose somebody else, you're making a mistake, right. And I really feel that when I lose a deal and they go to somebody else because it was cheaper or whatever, I always think to myself, you're going to come back. You're going to come back because I really feel that we have the best product and service for you. And a lot of times they do. They go away and then they go, oh, we kind of made a mistake over here. And it's like, yeah. It is.
So obviously continual learning. Do you know what? That's a theme that's become apparent throughout these interviews, actually, with the other ladies as well that I've interviewed, is like never stagnate, continue to learn, continue to develop your skill set, adaptability, learn, grow. In terms of, obviously that's tips for sales specifically, anything that you would put forward in terms of career success, right? Or just moving forward in general, like if you had to give tips to our audience in terms of what is just going to make you successful in life in general, right? What would you say?
I'd say for me, there's 2 things. I'd say number 1 is purpose. Find your purpose, whatever that is. I think when you have a purpose in life, it's not a job. When you set out to help people in whatever way you can, I think you find purpose in helping people, not just helping yourself. And I think number 2 is passion. If you have a passion for something, obviously, how passionate can I be about forklifts? I mean, I do teach dance on the side and that is my passion, but my passion is helping people when I am in my business role of selling forklifts. I mean, so I think if you have those 2 things, passion and purpose, you're going to be fulfilled. If you just get up to go to a job to get a paycheck every day, it's not necessarily going to be what's inspiring. And for me, you talked about my kids. It's like, you know, yes, we work, we want a certain lifestyle. I want to show my kids that, you know, hard work and perseverance pays off. But they are the why. You know, my job is what I do, but why I do it is because I want my kids to have a role model and to see that, you know, yes, I started at the bottom and in reception, and I grew all the way to where I am today. This doesn't happen overnight. You know, patience is really a virtue. It takes quite a while. I'm still learning every day things that I can do, you know, better in my job. So
and you're a great role model for that, I have to say. You know, hard work and persistence has really got you to where you are today, which is fantastic. Okay, I think we've covered everything that we were going to cover. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Not a salesperson,
yeah,
a persistent, passionate solution provider.
Thank you very much.
There you go. It's all about helping people. Okay, if you like the content of this video, please like, subscribe, and share, and tune in for the next interview. Natalie, thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.